From Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii, it is the consolation match of the 2018 Pacific Rim Cup. And we say good evening to those back in the mainland and central Ohio. Neil Sika with you, aloha, as the Black and Gold Columbus Crew Soccer Club taking on Iwaki FC in the amateur leagues of Japan football. Such an interesting story, this team in white, which began in 2012. Iwaki, Fukushima was an area ravaged by the East Japan earthquake in 2011, and this team brought in 2012 under the Dome Corporation, which is a major partner with Under Armour, as they have aspirations of playing within the J League, the top 3 leagues of Japanese football within the next 10 years. Currently in the 6th division, as they fell to Vancouver in their first match. Their team president presiding over this Pacific Rim Cup and getting things going as professional soccer returning to the Hawaiian Islands for the first time since the 2012 Hawaiian Islands Invitational. That featured the LA Galaxy and Houston Dynamo among the MLS teams taking on Japanese sides. As you know, Columbus, if you followed along early morning on Friday, Columbus falling to Consadole Sapporo from Hokkaido. They are in the Japanese First Division, as the Crew fell in that one 3-2. They had 1-goal leads twice in the first half on a brace by Giassi Zardes, but ultimately giving up a goal late in the first half and early in the second, within the first minute, to fall 3-2. But Greg Berhalter is excited to play this Iwaki FC team because of the press they provide out of their 3-5-2, and you're still crossing the T's and dotting the I's in the early portion of the preseason, so it's a different type of test than they would have seen with the Vancouver Whitecaps, a team they will play within the first couple of months of the MLS season. So it's the Sunshine Strip, apropos here in the Aloha State, the banana kit for Columbus, or should we say the pineapple kit, based on where we are today. Neil Seek, our producer, Skylar Schmidt, handling things. Milwaukee FC is in white. Kind of found the radar a little bit more across Japan by making the 3rd round of the Emperor's Cup last year. They fell in the 3rd round. Consadole Sapporo, their opponent in the 2nd round, they beat them 5-2 after extra time. And the team in white kicking off. Zach Steffen is in goal. Here's the Columbus starting 11 for you. Going to be more of a traditional play it out with subs in the second half, not wholesale changes for Greg Berhalter's team here this afternoon. 4 o'clock Hawaiian time and 9 o'clock kickoff back in the east. Will Trapp and Artur manning the middle of the field. In that central midfield, Alas Abubakar, Jonathan Mensah are the center backs. Milton Valenzuela, the youngster from Newell's Old Boys, now the new left back. Harrison Affel is the other fullback on the right side. As Artur is down, the ball is out. Christian Martinez plays the right side of midfield. Federico Higuain in the attacking midfield. Pedro Santos left. And Giassi Zardes with a nice introduction on Thursday night, Friday morning, with those 2 goals in the first half. So you see the pressure early from Milwaukee FC out of the 3-5-2, and Steffen's pass is turned over. It's Daeseng Kim returning it back into the midfield, and then it sails on out for a goal kick. Sun splash day, 77 degrees here in Honolulu. Vancouver and Consadole Sapporo play in the championship match. Our referee is last year's referee of the year in MLS, Alan Chapman. Higuain hitting that off of the turf monster hop to Martinez in stride as he cuts to the near side left. Heavy collision with Ichiro Suzuki, one of their best defenders, no relation to the baseball star. Affel setting up the oncoming run from Artur, and he lifts it high and back out of play. On loan last season from Sao Paulo, now that transfer fully complete. One of the big acquisitions, part 2 for Columbus going into 2018 off their Eastern Conference final trip. And they'll have that rematch in the season opener, which hard to believe, is coming up very soon. The home opener at Mafre Stadium, March 10th, 1 o'clock against the Montreal Impact. So a dose of 2 Canadian clubs to start the season. Here is Mensah, Abubakar, trying to find their ground. Keep in mind, in that first game, they had trained in the morning, Columbus. That's what you do to build up the stamina here in the preseason. They haven't really worked on defending the penalty area, and that was part of the problem. 2 of those 3 goals conceded. And Greg Berhalter noting that as the long pass for Santos is out. Saying he only played at about 75% last season, more to offer, just a couple of assists. Had some dynamic games in the playoffs. Minute 4. Daiki Sakata, 23-year-old, is the goalkeeper. He started one of those games in the Emperor's Cup last year. It was playing in the 4th division of Japanese football with the Raigosaki Dragons 2 seasons ago. They've got a good build-up here. Tomoyuki Yoshida leaving it out to the left and then stumbling over it, Hideyuki Kawamura. He'll take it into the channel against 2. Martinez and Awful team up. Kawamura making a nice little run. It's the Iwaki FC team, a lot of speed, and if they were regularly featured in the American media, you'd say the group is stacked and much better than a 6th or 5th division side with the aspirations of winning their regional leagues and moving up to the top 4 divisions, the professional divisions of Japanese football, J1, 2, and 3, and then the Japan Football League is Division 4. They have a corner here. They gave Vancouver all they could handle until a late penalty decided things in that first game. Zardes leapt, Stefan had it. It spilled off his hands. And then back inside the box and outside the reach of Keisuke Onose, who had a goal in the Emperor's Cup last year. So Columbus a little choppy in their own end. And as expected, just mentioning that, that's not really been the focus so far of the preseason slate, where they started in Casa Grande, Arizona, played a couple of scrimmages there against Colorado and Seattle. It's back home tomorrow for the crew. Back in early Monday morning to the capital city as this corner number 2 is taken. You see our tour and a little bit of a hug with Masahiro Sugaya. Some head tennis and Mensah the last one away, but still deep in their own third and facing some more Iwaki FC pressure. Minute 6, Abubakar calmly scatters that wide. Here's Awful. Higuain a touchback. Getting back to Columbus's preseason journeys, they'll be there till Thursday, and then they return to Charleston. A preseason title they won last year. Will look to do so again. Off of midfield, it falls to Zardes. Something out of nothing really on that buildup. No one closed it down on the passes coming from the outside for Iwaki FC, and Zardes have it put on a tee right at the top of the box. Hard to judge that bounce off the turf, and sometimes you get a little bit of a heavy volley. For the new number 9, wearing number 11. And happy to have a fresh start in Columbus. Homegrown player record for Zardes in 14 with 16 goals. Greg Berhalter pleased with a lot of things in the attack, especially going against a 5-man backline at times against Sapporo. Dealing with their pressure, and another test here that will help Columbus prepare for what they often see in league play. Teams that could sit back. Nice little nutmeg. Dae-Sing Kim on Abubakar, walking the tightrope around the 2nd-year defender from Dayton. And with some smooth moves, the 23-year-olds. A 3rd corner here in the opening 8 minutes for Iwaki FC. Abubakar likes to dazzle himself when he's on the ball, but can't be that casual. There's the captain, Will Trapp. In black and gold and both stars and stripes his last time out. His third appearance in the friendly in LA against Bosnia-Herzegovina. That corner dealt with, tossed right back in. And those recognizable dreads of Abubakar away. And Iwaki FC playing it out. Zach Steffen was also in that U.S. friendly. Played the second half. Even faced a penalty that went off the post. Here's Artur. That smooth ingenuity, the turn. And then leaking to Higuain. Martinez has switched sides. And that allows the overlap from Valenzuela, and the left fullback's cross is dealt with. Affel. Let's see if Columbus can find their rhythm in the attack for the first time here. 9 minutes in. Federico Higuain. What a season he had last year, and in position to become the first 50-50 player in club history. 50 goals, 50 assists. Here's Valenzuela. His throw led to the first Zardes goal, and his cross here in the channel dealt with by Dae-Sung Kim, who's been all over the right side of the field, up and down the wing so far. 18-hour journey to meet the team here in Hawaii for Valenzuela. And a nice transition with the likes of Higuain, Gaston Sarro, helping the young Argentine feel welcome. First corner for Columbus. They've seen 3 from Milwaukee FC. No score here on the cusp of 10 minutes. There's Mensah with the awkward touch. And then not able to rescue is Martinez, the birthday boy. Speaking of birthdays, Ricardo Clark celebrating his today, turning 35. After such a long spell in Houston, odds are we'll see Ricardo Clark in the second half. He started with Will Trapp in the first game of this Pacific Rim Cup, the inaugural edition. First time Japanese teams taking on MLS clubs since 2012. What a brevity in terms of professional soccer as a whole here in Hawaii. The Tsunami played in the U.S. ISL from 94 to 97. Team Hawaii had a couple of seasons in the NASL in the late 70s. That pass lacked, and Valenzuela watches as Kim takes it away. To the middle, he feeds it. Onose dispossessed. Good recovery, Artur. Peachy little pass. Higuain on the run from Zardes. He was slowing up there. Earns a quick throw. Santos. Finding Zardes. Santos for the knifing run of Valenzuela. Tucking inside. You may hear some of the murmurs right in front of the broadcast location here. That is Dome Corporation President Suichi Yasuda helped put this tournament together, and he is the president of Iwaki FC, so hoping his young side shows well, and did so in their first game against Vancouver. Minute 12, and a restart here for Sakata. Yuzo Tamura is the head coach. Played for Shonan Bellmare in the second division of Japanese football. This is his first season in charge. Randy Emeka Obi. And a field switch. Kim. Pressed with his play so far. And he sails the cross back looking for Emeka Obi. That'll go out and give way to a Kawamura throw. Well, there's Kim. Just 23. It's a young squad overall. And the overlap coming forward has Senga. And the 24-year-olds come out of the back line, feeding Enomoto. Here's Hisanaga. Wide for Kim. Iwaki back. Columbus still finding their footing down in this end, chasing it around. Good work by Yoshida. And out of that mess, Artur Zardes gonna give chase, but Ichiro Suzuki, who is the captain, has some J3 experience, the 3rd division with Kurula Morioka. Gonna be a throw for Iwaki FC. Just their 6th season as a club. Iwaki, Fukushima Prefecture, to be more specific, is on the coastline of the mainland in Japan. It'll scatter back to Stefan. Mensah wanting options. Trap. The pressure is on for Manose. Afful. Stefan, now Abubakar. Mostly countering going forward for Columbus against this Iwaki FC pressure. Just a little spell in the opposition's half so far through this opening quarter hour. And the consolation match in the Pacific Rim Cup. Christian Martinez, a couple of caps in his own right with Panama, the 21-year-old. Celebrating his birthday earlier this week. Here's Lalas Abubakar. Now the pass for Higuain. This is better from Columbus. Afful looking for Martinez. And now Afful into the corner, dealing with Kawamura. And that will go back to the Japanese side. Berhalter did like the intensity from his team on Thursday, early Friday. He did say he had a chance to go back and look at the awful goal that was called offside. He said it was not. What do you do? It's preseason. Beautiful goal by Afful, rocketing it off the crossbar, which would have tied the game. Higuain lofting it up, kind of got off the shoulder of the Ghanaian right back. He's in his 4th season already here in Columbus. There's that Lalas gallop over to the sideline in technical area. Kim lets it go out. Look at this Iwaki FC roster. There's no one over the age of 25 on it. 16th minute. And scoreless, Abubakar. Now Artur. Santos draws 2. Artur says, I'll go forward. Peeling it around. They're at 43-year-old Aloha Stadium. The Rust Bowl, as the natives call it. Santos, the ball held up in the middle for a brief time. And into the tackle, Valenzuela spilling over Kim. Who you could argue has been one of Iwaki's strongest players to start this one. A lot of faith in Suzuki. And he'll play it out along the back line. 22-year-old captain to the middle, and it's turned over. Martinez. Higuain, and now Trap. You see Afful saying, elevate that, pointing his hand in the air. Now Iwaki FC thrusting into the attack. Yoshida. Wearing 23, trying to play that forward for the likes of Onose. The 23-year-old forward with a goal during the Emperor's Cup. That is equivalent to the FA Cup. Over 80 teams participate. Japan's oldest football competition. Stefan dealing with the pressure. Down the line it goes. Suzuki missed the jump. Zardes back for Higuain and now leads him on in, but can he get there? No. Right idea, the pass just off. Judging that weight of the pass with the surface, always a tricky one when you play on the artificial stuff for the first time. Or at least relatively early in the season. Columbus has been a team under Greg Berhalter liking the synthetic fields because it does speed it up, and when they get it going, feel they can groove a bit more. Trap. Higuain. Lots of room to maneuver on that island. And wide for Zardes. An open look for Martinez. And a great stop, Sakata. He dove to his right to spear it away. It leads to a second Columbus corner here in the first half of a scoreless affair in minute 20. And another look. And Martinez, coming on as a sub in Philly, had that debut goal, that diving header. That was a good shot. Sakata 2 years ago had 6 shutouts in the 4th division of Japanese football in 9 games. So he's always up for the challenge. Here's Higuain. On it goes in, and Sakata has it. 23-year-old keeper out wide. And here's Suzuki. Decent crowd filling in to the sideline stands here at Aloha Stadium. As mentioning earlier, the facilities need a major upgrade. They're just throwing money into this thing right now to keep it functional, and yet they lost the Pro Bowl. Taxpayer money hard to come by if they're going to build a new stadium. That ball looked out as Kim was down to the line. I'll say it was in, and a 4th corner for Iwaki FC. He'll trap the team. Had a great time yesterday at Pearl Harbor. Of course, windy enough, they could not get onto the USS Arizona Memorial. But riveting theater nonetheless, very much enjoyable. If you're out here, and even if you have before, just spend a couple hours. Well worth your time. Stefan rising. And the big cat got the tips on it. Well, the season for Stefan last year. And is tied for 4th in saves. And played every single minute. John Kempen replaced him in the second half in the first game. I see Logan Ketterer today get some action in the second half. A 5th corner here in the first half for Iwaki FC. Mensah steering that away. Yoshida won it back against Martinez. Waiting for that was Enemoto. Sugaya lofted it up nicely. Isenaga going back, and Sakata says, "I've got it." He's the keeper back forward for Iwaki FC. Well, this pressure has created numerous threats. But the actual substance of shots really hasn't come just yet. They did much of the same against the Whitecaps. In their meeting earlier this week. Midpoint of the first half, it's scoreless, this consolation match. And the Crew will leave Hawaii facing two Japanese sides. There's Mensah in a tight window. And it's pushed out. Sakata. Minnesota United, Atlanta. And the Charleston Battery will be the oppositions in the Carolina Challenge Cup. Martinez. Good work there on the ball and brought down. Fifth professional season already for the Panamanian. Got a little bite from Hayasaka. They're holding midfielder. Martinez played 8 games last year, 1 start. That was August 19th, win in Orlando. Gonna play back to Stefan here. And he works his way into another foul there, blatant shove by Kim. There's Alan Chapman. The referee sets the table again. Robert Sabiga, the 4th official. Alan Chapman was actually going to have the final. And much like Columbus, happy to, you want to win the tournament. They're a little bit more happy that they get to play Iwaki FC. That was a first-time volley from Valenzuela that had promise. Got cut off. Zardes was peeling open. Went back to Chapman. He was going to do the final and then said, I don't want to see Vancouver again. So he swapped with Robert Sabiga. And we'll handle them in the later matchup. Santos, Artur, good turn. Knocked out of play. Hisanaga. And so a third corner here in the first half for Columbus. There have been 5 for Iwaki FC, but things are empty right now. Here in this consolation match, awaiting a goal. Santos signed last August. Trying to find Mensah, who knocked in a couple goals of his own last season. During a stretch where the Crew really got the set pieces going. Really for the first time in 4 or 5 years of consistent danger. Trap. Kim took it away. Dae-Seng Kim funnels it to the middle. Yoshida. The 19-year-old. Calms things down for Iwaki FC. See the Under Armour signage at the top of your screen, the signboards. Milwaukee FC's uniform, Dome Corporation. Big part of that, they're actually using an Under Armour ball. Players talking about how it's a little softer than what they're used to from Adidas. The lunge by Abubakar. There's that pass intended for Emeka Obi. Higuain tangled in the middle. Ghanaian to Ghanaian. 3 of them to start here in the first half. That's good work by Santos. Very shifty. Earns a foul and free kick. Of course, saw, speaking of the Ghanaians, Abu the other night. Did you get another look at the infraction? And then Edward Opoku, second round pick out of Virginia, joining that family again. Part of that Right to Dream Academy, which Mohamed Abu was before signing with Manchester City. Well, score in the 28th minute. And now Iwaki FC electing to slow things down a bit. Dealing with a little Columbus pressure. Higuain going at Sakata. And it helps Columbus create a turnover, and now Affel going to have to go negative. All the way back to Stefan. That Eagles Super Bowl championship shirt is in the mail, so he says. Wonder if he got one for adopted fan Gaston Sorrow. Kim on the throw. See the size of Emeka Obi. He is tall and rangy. Martinez slides that to the middle. Higuain. The motor running from Christian Martinez. Now Santos. This is promising. And then off the toe of Higuain and away. Columbus throw. A toss in by Valenzuela. I saw the speed of Sugaya. Rummaging forward. Kim to the byline. And Columbus trying to set their numbers in a scatter from behind. They do. Valenzuela, Artur, Higuain. Zardes out there in a crowd of white shirts. Sugaya. Suzuki. Kim trying to bring it down. Against Valenzuela. Number 19 is just 19 and knocks it out and gives up a sixth corner with inside of 15 minutes to play till halftime. Here in Honolulu. Crew players will have the evening off and the morning to themselves as well before their evening flight out. Trap digs that away. Poorly hit by Hisanaga. And it wildly flails to the corner. So Stefan will oblige. And the 22-year-old goalkeeper, a star in the making. After 2 seasons at Maryland, to Abubakar. Across its way to Mensah. Infield Martinez, trap. Artur was right where he wants to go with it. Nice dummy Higuain. And it allows this infield play. Santos, Zardes, 1-0. Jossie's offering up something special. But the build-up sublime. And the Crew take a 1-0 lead in the 33rd. Third and 2 games. And a very typical system goal, which rewards that center forward. And I know it's only Japanese competition, but you just kind of get the feeling you're going to see a lot more of that this year from the guy wearing number 11. 1-0. Zardes' third goal of the competition. Really started with that directional pass going back by Artur, and then it led up. Good combination, Santos Higuain. Now Iwaki FC trying to respond, and they do! Well, the trouble defending in their own end, and more specifically the penalty area, continues. And a tight game as Hisanaga nets it. The 24-year-olds makes it 1-1 in the 34th minute. So the goals a minute apart. And quite the response from the young club from Fukushima Prefecture. Looked a lot like the way the first half ended, at least in conceding in the game the other night against Sapporo, with about 5 minutes to play after the Crew had taken the lead on a Zardes penalty, and then a minute into the second half, a poor touch by Mensah led to a 2-on-1, a 3-2 lead, which is the eventual way that game ended. And now coming back the other way, moments and inches from taking a 2-1 lead. Well, Iwaki FC really turning the screws after the Zardes goal. Coming back with an excellent response. They've tied it. Tsubasa Hisanaga, a minute after Zardes scores. Almost had themselves a second. That was Yoshida who had the last effort for Iwaki FC. 10 minutes till halftime. And all of a sudden the game has come to life. Goals will do that. Santos. Now Higuain gonna track it down. Martinez. And Trapp will look for a reset. Abubakar. See, even in that extra touch on the ball, he was waiting for Artur to maybe come open, but that allowed some recovery time. He did get fouled, though. There's Trapp. Martinez sucks in 3 white shirts around midfield. Not a bad idea from Artur. That had a long way to go. Trying to find Zardes. It's good work, Valenzuela, even when he couldn't fully turn to the ball. Abubakar had stepped into that spot and opened up a crevice. It's help from Mensah. much like the goal, Columbus's chances, goal-scoring chances, have come in counter-attacking moments. The brevity there. It's been better play on the whole for Milwaukee FC in terms of going forward in the attack. The press is a big part of it. Here's the shot from the west side of the island that's high and away. Abubakar. And a Columbus turnover. Leads to another shot that's high. Yoshida. He's gotten in there a couple of times. He's got a knack for finding some space in the penalty area. That was just a simple, here you are. Try and make something of it. Another Columbus giveaway as they chase it again. There's the goal scorer, Isanaga. Infield, Onose. Now Yoshida. Isanaga. The stretch by Mensah. Let the pass out. Taken away. And Imoto. He slipped. That's a nice turn, Martinez. And a bit too physical. Looked like play was going to continue, but Sugaya did not get away with it in the end. Masahiro Sazaya trying to detonate things in midfield. 5 minutes are left on the first half clock. 1-1, goals a minute apart, 33rd and 34th minutes respectively. Brought a little life to the stadium, a life to this consolation game. Higuain. That's a good read on the pass. Got it back. Santos. Milton Valenzuela first time. Coming on is awful. Boy, that had the chance to be spectacular. That looping ball looked like a rainbow from that left touch line. And awful miss hitting it. A little bit of cloud cover off to the north. Sakata off that goal kick. Mensah in there to defend. Here's Suzuki. He's 22. Angled in the air for Kim. He tails it inside. Valenzuela staying with him. Yoshida toward the back stick. Artur over his head. And that ball goes flailing. Kawamura and Yoshida looking back and forth to each other. There is Tomoki Yoshida. Couple of starts in their 3 Emperors Cup games in 2017. The side with big aspirations. They want to be in the top division of Japanese football within 10 years. Still have a ways to go, a couple of flights to climb. It's a good tackle by Trapp at the top of the penalty arc. Advantage given as Higuain was sent to the ground. And that switch to Zardes, dealing with their best defender, Suzuki. And Alan Chapman pulls out a yellow for the foul on Higuain that allowed the play to continue. Looks like it was on Suzuki. fourth corner for Columbus. Santos deals it in right at Zardes. But going the other way. Sugaya is the yellow card culprit, not Suzuki. .43rd minute. A little bit more energy in the last 10 minutes of this first half since the goals. And Iwaki FC, looks like they started the game. They've had the better play here at the tail end. And looking for a second goal. That's teacher to student right now. Stefan talking to Abubakar. As communication still being worked on in this early portion of the preseason. Mensah is down to one knee. Might be dealing with a cut above the eye. So it's time for instruction in the final moments of this first half. Don't know if Mensah is showing any blood or not. He's going to have to walk over towards the technical area. There's a decent little contingent of the Nordeca on tour here. Close to 30 or 40 Columbus fans were here for the first match, and around the same today. Chris Schenberger is the new Columbus athletic trainer. Was Johnny McGregor well as he went off to Portland after 3 seasons here in Columbus. There's a foul in the back. We're going to have 2 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half. They still work on Mensah, so Columbus playing shorthanded for the moment. You have to see Iwaki to the left of the ball. Gonna play it short. Santos, now Trapp. The execution there on the set piece. Ball sailed away. And Sakata. Both teams closing out their 2 matches here. A season that isn't far from starting for Milwaukee FC. The J-League getting going in late February, and the rest of the divisions follow suit soon. Artur. Good back tackle, Onose. And that seeing eye pass to Stefan. Now Milwaukee FC, the upstarts from Japan, making things unpleasant at times for Columbus. Zardes a beautiful goal on the build-up down the left in the 33rd minute. But the young team answers. Tsubasa Hisanaga a minute later tying things up, but getting out of your comfort zone early in the preseason, not all that bad of a thing as the crew continue to work towards the 2018 campaign. This consolation match of the 2018 Pacific Rim Cup is tied at 1 here at the half. Step aside and come back with the second half in just a bit as you watch Crew Soccer. And once again, aloha from Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. It's the consolation match of the 2018 Pacific Rim Cup. 1-1 as the Black and Golds and Iwaki FC wrapping up their 2 games in 3 days here in the Hawaiian capital. On the island of Oahu, a couple of changes. There's a few changes for Greg Berhalter's team to start this second half. As Hector Jimenez comes in, he played 45 minutes on Thursday night, Friday morning. Ricardo Clark, the birthday boy, 35 years old, with a 15-year pro, steps into the midfield to pair with Will Trapp. They started the game together against Sapporo. Luis Argudo, right now trying to earn a contract, 3rd round pick out of Wake Forest. Showed some good things the other night as he played the second half. He's 3rd-team All-ACC selection. And then Logan Ketterer, who made the 18 last year 7 times due to some Brad Stuver injuries. Ketterer, 24, got a new contract. Was re-signed on the same day Gaston Sarro was. That was January 11th. He's out of Bradley. He was a 4th round pick. And he'll be in goal as the team switch ends. Milwaukee FC is a little tardy coming out to the field here, as you see to start half number 2. Neil Sika with you. And producer, digital media extraordinaire Skylar Schmidt working hard. Second half is underway under the whistle of Alan Chapman. So the 4 changes with Ketterer in goal. Jimenez to left back, and on that left side, Argudo joins him up on that left side of midfield. It's good to see Jonathan Mensah, who took a little bit of a nick toward the end of that half above the eye, is back out there. And Ricardo Clark. Those are the 4 changes. Quite the career for Ricardo Clark. It's a poor hit clearance by Mensah. Coming on forward is Kawamura. As Iwaki FC right now, some familiar numbers from their first 45 minutes. Hisanaga had the goal. That tied it at 1 after Zardes finishing off a beautiful passing sequence up the left side in that first half for Columbus. Goals minute apart. Argudo slips and swiveling into that volley, and a can of corn for Ketterer as he brings it on down. Onose provides the pressure on Abubakar. Outside of making those game day rosters, not much action for Ketterer in his rookie season. Now 4 goalkeepers are on the roster, along with Ben Lundgaard, who was the 1st round selection out of Virginia Tech. As Columbus able to work it down the sideline, Santos. Hand to head, it's a corner. And an early one for Columbus here in minute 47. And a quick 2-man game, Higuain and Santos. Argudo peels around. And dribbling into a mess of white, but it got free to Santos. And his cross coming in. There were shouts for a handball. Is Alan Chapman awarding it? Kawamura, yeah, that hit his hand for sure. And Alan Chapman pointing to the spot. The Crew get a 2nd penalty in as many games out here. And this time, Federico Higuain to handle the chore. His 16 penalty kick goals in MLS play is a Columbus record. Zardes took it the other night Higuain to give Columbus a 2-1 advantage. Yep. Pipo with some penalty kick perfection, and it's 2-1 Columbus. 48th minute, the time of the goal. I'll give credit there to the rookie Argudo for pushing through. He was surrounded by three and got it off to Santos. Deep in the penalty area. His cross handled by that man, Kawamura, coming up the sideline. And so Federico Higuain makes it 2-1. And another early goal to start the second half. But one that Greg Berhalter much more pleased to see. There's Clark trying to pick out Zardes. Suzuki's still out there, no subs yet really. And the approach for Yuzo Tamura. There's Clark. Now Will Trapp. Dispossessed. Trying to leak Dae-Sing Kim, who was running wild and free at times in that first half on the right-hand side. Now he's at the top of your screen. Well, that ball in, Abubakar. His timing is tap off to Trapp and gives a good look. Had an opportunity, Ketterer to the crouch. And no trouble to make the save. As he gets his feet wet with the first touch. Wayne has that spill over. There is that attacking opportunity. Yoshida, Isanaga, Kawamura, those three, they're pests around the box. A couple of years ago, this Milwaukee FC team was promoted again, earning victory in the 6th division of Japanese football. Argudo, Higuain. As Columbus takes a turnover here in the attacking end. Jimenez. Clark. That's good work. Corner. Number 2 of this half for the Crew. And Yoshida is the one to redirect it out. Pedro Santos. His cross finding the arm of Kawamura, leading to the Higuain penalty. Now Zardes, what a save. Sakata, he's made 2 great stops today. Pinpoint accuracy from Federico Higuain, and Zardes was looking for his second double in as many matches out here. Just the late reaction stop. Feline quickness, as they say. Once again, Abubakar! It's a big giant pineapple right there, putting it home for the third. Two great looking set pieces off the corner. It's as clean as it gets. And Columbus has opened up a 2-goal lead, 3-1. So goals in the 48th and 53rd minute. Such a vital goal for the young Ghanaian last year in Orlando, which was the first of his professional career. 7 games and 6 starts for Lalas. He was the 5th pick in the draft out of Dayton. Some good set-piece execution there. Coming back the other way, though, Ketterer. Watching that flare by. High-end chances at both ends right now. That's Atsushi Yoshida. He is one of the new additions in this second half for Iwaki FC. Argudo. Mensah up for Zardes. And right to the touch of Greg Berhalter. Kawamura. And for Sugaya. That's turned over by Hisanaga. Trap trying to lead Argudo. Out of Wake Forest. He played his first 2 seasons at Elon before transferring to Winston-Salem. Mensah there. No real threat for Yoshida. Ketterer. Off it goes to Abubakar. 2-goal advantage now. Columbus scoring twice in 5 minutes. That's a great pass. And Zardes! Sakata denies him. It was a great first-time hit from Joussi Zardes. Sakata, that's been impressive. Maybe a little lucky, too, as it's right off his knee, but nevertheless in position. And the MLS club starting to pour it on here with some conviction. Mensah, that's wiper bladed away by the Milwaukee FC keeper. Jimenez. Argudo. Around to the outside, Awful. Santos trying to heel it to him. And now Kawamura having that spill out. 3rd corner already in this second half. 7th for the game for Columbus. 10 minutes into the second stanza. On a leave off the trail, Santos. Hackey sacking that towards Clark. That's a stingy little foul on the Portuguese winger. Clumsy from Yoshida. Well, you want to enjoy the fun in the sun, play some good soccer, get in rhythm for the season, and get out of here without suffering any injuries. And the follow-through going right into the knee. But he's up. And more set-piece work. And they've been dangerous off those corners. This one spread a little higher above that nearby line. Santos. Well, he struck that with some ferocity. He's laboring just a bit. He's going to have a bruise for sure. As that will go out, and Milwaukee FC will make, looks to be a couple of substitutions. Masahide Hiroka comes on here, number 10. Played in the 3rd division of Japanese soccer in 15 and 16 with Nagano Parcero. So he'll step off. Off the turnover here, Santos. Mazy little moves. Spilled off by Sakata. Knocked away in the end by Dae-Sing Kim. Well, 4 new faces for Columbus in the second half, including the keeper, but the confidence suddenly evaporating for Milwaukee FC. Maybe looking a little disheveled after the penalty and falling behind so early in the half. A wry grin from Greg Berhalter, likes what he sees. Down the line for Arnose. He'll check it up. Kim ran out of room. Well marked by Jimenez. So Hiraoka is on here in the second half. Yoshida. Hiraoka is 22. He had 2 goals and 4 assists in their Emperor's Cup run, the number 10, the latest to come on the field. Now Logan Ketterer gets to deal with some Iwaki FC pressure. There's a Boubacar. He's got the 3rd goal. That came on the corner in the 53rd. Penalty by Higuain in the 48th. Gives Columbus a 2-goal edge here in the consolation match. With just over 30 minutes to play. Awful. Couldn't keep it. There's the throw from Takahashi. He was that unidentified body around Robert Sabiga on the latest substitution pattern. 19-year-old midfielder. That shot going high and wide. Of course, while this game following more of a traditional substitution pattern, you're still allowed to play more than 3 in a regular competition. It is preseason after all. Santos doing some work. Awful. You see bodies up on the Columbus bench. 4 or 5 of the gold shirts. I think they might come on here in the next 5 minutes or so. Get some work. Here's Trapp. And Santos fouled in the back. Taking a couple of stingers now in the last few minutes. And he's like a gnat. He works so hard. I'm sure he wants to add in a goal or 2. Oh, he got stepped on, you see, by the captain, Suzuki. Cleated him. Mensah running out of room and shouldered up. And Onose. Igarashi. The 19-year-old, one of 4 changes right now. In the second half for Iwaki FC, just in their 6th year of existence. Here's Awful. Pumps it on the instep. Comes to Igarashi, and off the volley, hit it right into Mensah. Going after his own shot. Mensah in a chase. Takahashi comes around, crossing in. And all of a sudden, Milwaukee FC creating some mischief, dealt with by Abubakar. Santos. Didn't run into Awful, but no one cleared the ball. And allows Igarashi. Lizardes all the way back in his own end to defend. And he'll play it out. And now we'll get a big line change for Columbus, leading 3-1. With 28 minutes left, Mohamed Abu. Connor Maloney, 2nd year for both. Maloney out of Penn State. Abu, really good second half. Eduardo Sosa, he's one of the guys Greg Berhalter was impressed with his play, and I concur. Very north-south player. Takes it on the toes and starts attacking the Venezuelan from Zamora FC. Trap comes off. Higuain, Awful, Santos. You Crew fans are familiar with those faces by now. And a job well done. Adam John also out there. So Boo and Clark working in the midfield. That is right into the eye line of Ketterer from out long. Crognale at the top of your screen in the penalty area. He's back there defensively. Mensah. Pressure from Maloney. Maloney started against Consadole Sapporo. In the first meeting. Here's Suzuki. Isanaga. Crognale's touch. Played wide. He had quite the offseason, Crognale, in terms of his travel. Got over to Rome with his brothers, explored Italy, Florence, and Milan. And they'll knock it off. Milwaukee FC forward for a goal kick. Two-time honorable mention, Missouri Valley Conference, Logan Ketterer. Had 19 shutouts his senior year of high school. That's a still standing Wisconsin high school record. From Racine, up off the lake. Alan Chapman calls the foul. Sosa the restart. Sugaya. He remains from that first half. It's a dragging that back. And the charge of Hiraoka on the turnover, Crognale. Playing it right to the feet of Anose. Kim shouldering into Jimenez. And that'll spill off a sloppy touch, and Ketterer recovers. Become overcast here in Honolulu. That clearance is poor, and it leads to a second. A 2-on-0, and Ketterer left on an island. Hiraoka finishes clean to make it 3-2 in the 67th minute. And it wasn't a pass, it was clearly an unlucky deflection that carried about 15 yards into the penalty area. And in position A was Hiraoka. So 3-2. Just moments after Columbus makes all those substitutions. See at the bottom of your screen, 27, that is Edward Opoku, who's the second round pick out of Virginia. In the channel, so a lot of new faces, a lot of cohesion to be worked out. Mensah is the only remaining player that started the game. Argudo gives chase. You've got John, Sosa, Opoku. Here is Sosa. John needs that back. Opoku tries to space out from Clark. Connor Maloney. And a slippery turnover here and around Mensah. Bending run from Yoshida. Carries it as far as Maloney will allow. And back to Takahashi. Coming up on 70 minutes. Maloney's throw. Just over 20 minutes remaining. Pardon any confusion with your scoreboard clock right there on the screen. 3-2 Columbus. As they're tuning up for another MLS campaign. And that given away in the back, Opoku. Timid first touch, and Iwaki FC able to recover. Sakata, if not for him, it might be it would have been a 3-4 goal deficit. And has kept his team around, and now down just a goal. Sosa off advantage given. A good 40 yards out, a free kick coming. I like the first touch of this kid, Eduardo Sosa. Libertadores experience. He's 21 for the Venezuelan. Signed on January 9th. Abu in. Cronali is his target man. That's knocked away by Milwaukee FC. The opener March 3rd. Columbus rematch of the Eastern Conference Final at BMO to take on the champs Toronto FC. The Trillium Cup game to start. And the home opener at 1 o'clock at Monterey Stadium on March 10th. Everyone excited for Christmas. Montreal comes to town. 3 home games in the month of March. New record last season for home victories, with 12 for Columbus in a season. Sosa to take the corner here. Minute 71. And parallel runs from John and Mensah. Cronali. They fouled Suzuki. And Alan Chapman did pull out a yellow there on Cronali. Well, the second half sub, the goal by Hiraoka has given Milwaukee FC a little bit of life. That was in minute 67 after Columbus scored twice in 5 minutes early in this second half. Well, but Mensah is new in the second stanza as Ketterer calmly on a hop to grab it. Got engaged in the offseason, Logan Ketterer. It's been a good few months for him. Mensah knocked that away. The flag was up for offside. Sosa fell down. Yoshida. Playing it back across was Hiraoka. And Columbus able to do some last gasp defending to get out of danger. And now Sosa came through clean. Look at this pass. Opoku! Welcome, rookie. What a feed from Sosa. And the two 21-year-olds connect on a pretty counterattack goal. Nearly tying it at the other end. That's a good touch to control. And a great lead by Sosa. And it's 4-2. Two-goal lead restored. It's an impressive young man, Opoku. Out of Right to Dream Academy, went to Millbrook, New York, host family, prep school. Went on to Virginia, where he was a second-team All-American as a sophomore. He played 3 seasons, 16 goals, 9 assists in all. He initially was going to commit to North Carolina, but his family here in the States, at the time that academic scandal was brewing, they didn't like how that was looking, so they encouraged him, go to Virginia. There was a family member that was the case, so they steered him in terms of his academics. And he's excited to be here, especially with his Ghanaian brothers around. His first action of the tournament, scores the 4th goal. Argudo working hard. Now, you play in the ACC, whether it be Wake Forest, Virginia, you better have a little technical flair to your game right when you come to the pro level. That's why those schools have been so effective on the national stage. National championship winning teams. And they've shown well, not afraid of the situation being thrust out there. Sosa putting on pressure. And it's knocked away for a Columbus throw as they're back up 4-2. Crew lead with a quarter hour remaining. Well, Sosa keeps digging and digging. Abu out of the tackle. Clark is there to help. Here's Opoku. And Maloney, second-year player. And the rookie from Virginia hanging up on the chalk. Three goals in the second half for Columbus. Takahashi down the left wing. Oh, the clearance is going to give a great look, and the finish converted. Milwaukee FC won't go away. Looks to be Yoshida, Atsushi Yoshida. That's 3 minutes after Opoku. Look what could have been the clincher. Milwaukee FC hangs around. Well, the line drops deep. There's no one there to take another deflection that favors the team in white. A 7-goal affair consolation match, 4-3. Jimenez trying to carve that pass out. It's dealt with by Enomoto. Five second-half goals combined. After this game was knotted at 1 at the break. Hiraoka and Atsushi Yoshida are the goal scorers for Iwaki FC here in the second half. Higuain from the spot, Boubacar off a corner. And the 4th goal coming from rookie Edward Opoku. 78th minute, 4-3 Columbus. Mohamed Abu. 4-5-5 in games he started last year. Opoku worms his way around some contact. Thought he was held up. Yes, says Alan Chapman. And Maloney restarts. Here's Sosa. Oh, he's looking to go forward. You see these youngsters, Argudo, Opoku. Don't have the nameplate yet, trying to earn that roster spot. Of course, Opoku's a Generation Adidas member, so he has a league contract. Abu letting that fly. Here's Maloney. It was redirected by the Virginia rookie. Maloney chasing on. Mensah with some power forward off his chest. Now it's Yoshida. Clark rips it away. We're in number 2 here in Central Ohio. From channel to channel it goes. Argudo. Opoku, competitors against each other in their respective schools. Cronulla. Mensah, Sosa. 10 minutes remaining. Good keep of the ball here. Jimenez. Argudo. Sosa, the field switch. Maloney. Nicks that down toward the corner. And out for an Iwaki FC throw. Takahashi. And it goes. Despite their youth, it's a feisty group. And they've spent the money to put them in position where they can look to climb up a few flights within the next several years. Cronulla scaling back. There's that defensive transition, and then what to do when the attack arrives in the penalty area. That's what Columbus still will try and iron out over the next week or so in their time in Charleston. It's going to be a corner kick. Of course, the Japanese have inhabited the island for hundreds of years. Last state to come into the Union, Hawaii. Was a territory before. Ball off the hand of Sosa. And the free kick awarded from Alan Chapman. Minute 82. Closing in on 11 o'clock in the east. It's cloud cover. You get some of this volcanic fog with some of the trade winds out here. Comparative to LA smog, I guess. At the end of the day, it's still just dark clouds, right, Sky? He nods. Great work by him. Get him a drink with one of those umbrellas. Off the restart. Sails away to that rusty fakeade here at Aloha Stadium. Onose, 23-year-old. Going to start to what is the 83rd minute right now. Had a goal in the Emperor's Cup. Header out of his own end. That's a fortuitous pinball off the back of John's head. Argudo was trying to run onto it. Now it's Hiraoka. He scored the second goal. Iwaki FC trying to tie the game. Columbus has twice had 2-goal leads here. And their Japanese opponent has come right back to cut it within 1. If that is the case, and it finishes 4-4. Since this is a tournament-like format, championship consolation match, you go right to PKs to see who takes third place. Off the corner, this is the second of the second half for Iwaki FC. Good control taken down. Hiraoka, and a Opoku away. And now look at Sosa in that pass. John doesn't have the wheels. He'll hold it up and allow the flashier guys to come forward. Opoku snuggling that one toward the post. Sakata has it. You have to like what Sosa has shown here in this spell in Hawaii. Got those natural inclinations in the attacking midfield role, and that's, let's face it, not been an easy thing to look at when Federico Higuain is not in the lineup. And with the likes of Justin Merrim now in Orlando, even if he's coming off as an inverted winger, you need another chance creator, one you can rely on a regular basis. Santos is going to be asked to elevate his game in that light. Even a Nico Hansen, who's not playing today. He did, the game against Sapporo, but if you watch that, you saw him come up a little gingerly with the hamstring late in that one. He was doing some side work and precautious in any of those situations. Gaston Cerro, Mike Grella are here on the trip, continuing their rehab. Cernali's getting called for a foul here, and it's going to give a very dangerous looking free kick at minute 86 to Iwaki FC. That was away from the ball. Anose burrows his way into the call right at the top of the box. It's been fun from the view I have right behind the byline. Suichi Yasuda, Dome Corporation president, Iwaki FC president, has loved every minute of this one. Cheering on his club. He led a Pacific Rim chant in the press conference on Wednesday. It's quite alarming, but quite the disparity from Japanese media to what you see in the U.S. on a regular basis. Minute 87, and a very good look here at perhaps tying things up. That's Suzuki, the captain and defender, standing over it. Takahashi also debating, but it's Suzuki into the wall. Friendly fire too, looks like he hit his own man. That's quite interesting. Yoshida, who has the third goal, was down on his knees. No, both of them were. I don't get what was going on there. When you're banking on him hitting it over the wall. Interesting design. I just saw the reaction of a couple of Crew fans on that very idea. Opoku, a good touch, bringing that down. He crosses over midfield. And completely unnecessary as he got bolted into the sideline and collided. And you saw the bench arise very quickly. Greg Berhalter. Frank Anderson is one of the ARs. Oh, here you go. Yeah. I mean, that's seeking out a guy who has the ball up. You see the Ghanaians, awful Abubakar. The ones that were quickly to the side of that young man, Edward Opoku. Alan Chapman. Sorting things out. Robert Sabiga is the fourth official. You saw Opoku wave back on. Now Maloney restarts. Sosa. Furuyama. Ito Furuyama, 24-year-old defender. He comes on in this second half, trying to clear that away. Maloney into the path of Takahashi. And Iwaki FC pushing for a tying goal in the final minute here, the 90th. Nothing drab really about this consolation match. Why would it be with 7 goals? It's a 5-on-2. Can they get it right? Sosa back across. Argudo, the capper. Jimenez with an assist as well. That's how you run the break. And the Crew will win it. It's 5-on-3. Look at Sosa. Reading where the defense was, the man that was onside was Jimenez. And the 2 rookies out of the ACC, Luis Argudo and Edward Opoku. Nice moments for them. They both score. The 4th and 5th goals respectively. That'll go just as second half stoppage time begins. 90th minute officially. 1 minute added on here. (5-3). Consundale Sapporo and the Vancouver Whitecaps wrap up this edition of the Pacific Rim Cup. The first inclination of this tournament, although they've had preseason pro showcases before in recent years. Mentioned at the start, the Hawaiian Invitational. Back Ricardo Clark, Pat Onstead, they were there with Houston in 2012. Ricardo Clark is on the field now, celebrating his birthday. A couple of rookies get in the books. And Columbus uses a 4-goal outburst and fights off a pesky Iwaki FC team of the Japanese lower divisions to win it 5-3 here in this afternoon affair. There's the Nor on the islands. They celebrate. Everyone outside of Jonathan Mensah replaced as the second half went along. Great play by the goalkeeper Sakata. And Columbus will take 3rd place in this Pacific Rim Cup. Iwaki FC, as they try and climb the ranks of Japanese football, will go to 4th, but they had a good time doing it. Showed well against 2 MLS clubs. Lalas Abubakar had the 3rd goal. Opoku's goes as the game winner. That was in minute 73, but twice up by 2 goals. Iwaki FC responded to cut it to 1. And then late the push, Sosa, big provider in both of the late goals to help lead Columbus to a 5-3 victory. So a win and a loss here at the Pacific Rim Cup, and now off to defend their Carolina Challenge Cup title. And they'll get a lengthy stay in Charleston right before the tune-up for week 1 Back in Central Ohio, March 3rd. Hard to believe, another MLS season upon us. As the highlights here, an early save from Sakata. Martinez with that shot. Here's a great little build-up. Higuain, Santos, and then Jossie Zardes, third goal of the tournament. And then third in 2 games, but right back a minute later, 34th minute. Hisanaga, Tsubasa Hisanaga tying things up at 1. Early second half. Here in the 47th minute, the Santos cross going off of Kawamura, and that leads to the penalty. Power and precision from Higuain to make it 2-1 in the 48th minute. 5 minutes later, Abubakar. Bang, 3-1. In the 53rd minute, Columbus up 2. But off this deflection on a Jimenez clearance. Good poise from Hiraoka to make it 3-2. As that follows in the 67th minute. In the 73rd, it looked like it could be the capper. Apoku makes it 4-2. Getting his first action here in Hawaii out of Virginia. And then right back 3 minutes later, here comes Iwaki FC again with the shot by Yoshida in the 76th. Leading a 5-on-2 break. Done to perfection. Jimenez off the pass from Sosa. Leads it into the path of Argudo, and there are all your goals. Columbus 5, Iwaki FC 3. So the team will enjoy a night off and a morning to spend here in paradise before heading back Central Ohio for a couple of days and getting ready for the Charleston tune-up. We'll see Minnesota United, Atlanta United, and the Charleston Battery. Now youth soccer getting a treat here in Hawaii. Of course, the pro game, regardless of the sport, is not frequent here very often. So the children relishing in a chance to meet this Columbus group and these professional players. They put on a clinic earlier in the week. It's been a great event. We've had a great time here. Why wouldn't we? Here in Hawaii. Skylar Schmidt, phenomenal job over the course of these 2 matches here. Our producer and digital media man, as Columbus walks out a 5-3 winner. And we'll continue on the path to the season opener March 3rd at Toronto. Home opener March 10th coming up just around the corner against the Montreal Impact. That's a 1 o'clock kickoff as well. As is custom here on the islands, we say mahalo. Thanks for watching. As the black and gold with win and a loss. 5-3 here, victorious in the consolation match in the 2018 Pacific Rim Cup. This is Neil Sika saying aloha ahi ahi from Oahu. And Honolulu, we say good night.